Hey guys, so check out this new controversy that's going on. Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, is going under fire recently for making this Saturday Night Live skit back in 2017. So in this skit, he basically makes a child molesting robot. And he's coming under fire for this because he just recently endorsed Joe Biden, who, as we know, is a pedophile. Now, before anybody thinks that in this video I am defending Joe Biden, you're out of your fucking mind. I've already made 2 videos calling Joe Biden both an idiot and a pedophile. Dwayne Johnson is a total fucking idiot for endorsing Joe Biden. That is unquestionable, it's undebatable. However, does he deserve to be under fire for this skit? I've gone back and forth. I've talked to a couple friends, one of which is one of my patrons, Jacob Martin. And he believes that Dwayne Johnson should be under fire for this, and a large part of me thinks that he shouldn't. I think he should be under fire for just voting for endorsing Joe Biden in general, but not specifically for this skit. And I fully understand all the points that Jacob Martin made, but I'm going to try to look at this from the way that I believe everybody should be looking at this, which is anything but political. This should not ever be a political discussion. Yes, it is a political thing. He's endorsing a political candidate, Joe Biden, but what I mean is the political side. Because we know how SJWs are, right? SJWs will look at literally anything. Somebody makes a joke on Twitter 10 years ago that they consider racist, sexist, transphobic, whatever. They look at somebody who in a sitcom or a skit show like Saturday Night Live or Mad TV, and they did blackface or something like that, and they go, cancel them, cancel. That's what cancel culture is. Going back into someone's past that no longer matters because it's been like 10 years or more, and saying cancel them because I don't like that joke they made. I believe that every single thing on the planet, even the most serious things like rape or molestation, can be joked about. I do believe that everything should be joked about, because when you start limiting the things that can be joked about, you end up creating literally what's been happening in our culture the last 6 years since the SJW movement started. People want to say like, well, Matt, it's not a big deal. Things like rape or molestation are terrible and we should not joke about them. I understand what you're trying to say, but the effects are what's been happening since the SJW movement began, and I don't think you like that now, do you? You don't. So we should never be limiting anything from comedy. Nothing should ever be out of bounds. We should be able to joke about everything. And on top of that, just in life in general, the happiest people are the people who can find humor in their hardships because it actually helps with coping. That's an objective psychological fact. The point is, we're going to take a look at what the skit was that The Rock acted in.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'll speak up. It's a robot that is designed to molest children. And I call it Robo Chomo. You see, it's powered by solar rechargeable fuel cells, and it costs pennies to manufacture. And it can, theoretically, molest twice as many children as a human molester in, quite frankly, half the time. Do I win the contest?
So here's the thing, the skit is not funny. It's just dumb. Saturday Night Live has been unfunny for years. I don't think it's unfunny because of what the joke is. I just think that the whole skit is just written badly. So I don't think it's funny, but my reason is not because it's a molestation joke. I just think the skit is unfunny because it's just simply not funny. But does he deserve what he's getting? To be honest, I feel like the conservatives who are going after him are only doing it because they're like, well, he's endorsing a Democrat, now let's go and cancel him and find something that he did. It's the exact same thing when SJWs go, oh, that person endorses Trump, let's go back into their past and find something horrible that they did and cancel that person. I feel like conservatives now are actually pulling a SJW behavior. I honestly do, and that's, you're sinking yourself to their level. As I told you, I talked to my patron Jacob Martin, and one of his points was, firstly, that there are many jokes that are made in many different TV shows, whether they're sitcoms, skit shows, And, even Mad TV has made many skits that are in relation to rape or sexual harassment, and they're actually really funny. Here's an example right here. This is acted out by Michael McDonald. This is an old Mad TV skit. I believe it was from the 90s. It's a really old Mad TV skit. And in this particular skit, every single time that a blowjob word is referenced, like blowjob, suck, swallow, he basically gets like a muscle. Just watch.
Whenever I mention oral sex, I feel okay. See, honey, stop.
So the joke of this skit is that he grabs the person's head and starts bringing them down to his crotch, and you could and SJW would say, well, this is sexual harassment or borderline rape, but again, it's just a joke, And we see many jokes on actual shows that are genuinely funny about rape, about racism, sexism. Sitcoms like All in the Family literally made an entire episode based around rape. The only difference is that that episode was not a comedy episode. It was actually against rape. It was like an anti-rape episode, but still they portrayed it. And Jacob Martin pointed out the difference is that child molestation is a lot more serious than rape or sexism or racism, which I agree with. Child molestation is the absolute most severe thing to joke about. It is number one. So I agree with him. But I still think everything, including that, should be joked about. But I do understand, what he's trying to get across by saying it is the most serious thing, we should not joke about it. And I also feel like many conservatives, not specifically my friend Jacob, but I think a lot of conservatives in general would forgive what The Rock did if it was acted out by anyone who supports Trump. There are many conservatives, people like Mark Dice, for example, right? Mark Dice will go against any liberal who, says something bad about Trump, and he will support any conservative that says anything good about Trump. I think a lot of conservatives like Mark Dice are very biased. So I can't help but feel like there are many conservatives who, if that exact skit on SNL was acted out by somebody who supports Trump as opposed to supporting Biden, they would make excuses. To me, it's similar to when Trump said, I grab him by the pussy, I don't even wait, and conservatives were in fact defending what Trump said. Jacob Martin made a point about this as well. He took Trump's quote as, women throw themselves at Trump. So he's not really sexually, harassing or abusing women, because if they throw themselves at him, then obviously it's willing and consentful. And again, I agree. But doesn't it not come down to perception? Because you can also say that the literal word grab means that he did not have permission. You had to grab it, so you did it yourself, but without the consent of the other person. But then we are getting into nitpick territory by looking at the grammar of what the word grab actually means, Conservatives, a lot of conservatives, not just Jacob, take it as, women throw themselves at him, but a lot of SJWs took it as he's a sexual predator who grabs women's pussies. But it's all about, the perception, right? We also need to compare probably the most important thing. Even if we talk about the Trump quote, we need to realize that Trump actually said it, right? This is not something from a TV show or a parody. These are Trump's real words. Whereas what you see on Saturday Night Live was a comedy sketch that was written by writers. So The Rock didn't even say it himself. It was written for him for the sketch, and he just acted it out. But then we have to go a step further and say, yeah, that's true, but The Rock was also willing to act out the skit. Surely before the skit was filmed, there was rehearsal. There was the fact that The Rock literally read the script, saw, this skit is about a child molesting robot. Yes, I will act it out. So he made a conscious decision to act out this skit. We also need to put across, the whole thing that I mentioned earlier about how cancel culture goes after people for jokes that were made 10 years ago, but this skit is only 3 years old. At the time this skit was made, Joe Biden was already discussing the possibility of running for president. But then on the other side, we have to also bring up the fact that The Rock is not a political person. I don't think when any celebrity endorses a politician, they actually understand shit about what they're talking about. I've already proved it in my left-wing bias video that I made a couple years ago. And in that video, I showed you guys that most celebrities who endorse somebody who's against Trump or just speak out against Trump in general are literally paid off to do that. Look at celebrities like Jimmy Fallon. He was actually threatened to be fired if he didn't insult Trump more on his show. The truth is, Hollywood is corrupt, and Hollywood literally forces the celebrities to endorse Democrats or insult Trump or whoever they're against. That's just how corrupt politics works, especially when it comes to celebrities. But the celebrity themselves doesn't really know shit. I don't think Dwayne Johnson or many other celebrities in general know fuck all about politics. I just think that they're put on camera and forced to talk about these things. So it's also possible that when Dwayne Johnson endorsed Joe Biden, he doesn't even know that Joe Biden is a pedophile. He was probably just told to endorse Biden and did, with the possible threat of losing his career. Like, almost every single celebrity has been paid off to either insult Trump or endorse Biden, or in the previous election, endorse Hillary. And literally the only celebrity that I can think of who had the balls to step up and say, fuck you, I don't care, was Sylvester Stallone. And even he was shunned for it. So that's just how it is these days. But my point is that if Dwayne Johnson doesn't really know much about politics and doesn't know that Joe Biden is a pedophile, then the skit has no relation because he wouldn't have known. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of conservatives are also saying things like, the worst part is just the irony in the fact that he makes a skit joking about molestation and then endorses a molester. Or a pedophile anyway. But we don't know if Dwayne knew that Biden is in fact a pedophile. We don't know if he knows that. And even if he does, can we go down the route of personal growth? Maybe, maybe not, because it's not like Dwayne Johnson ever came out and said, I'm sorry for making that skit. The fact of the matter is, this all comes down to a double-sided coin. There is a lot of things that are against The Rock in this. There's a lot of things that are in support of him, primarily things that are just irrelevant because we shouldn't be making this political. I don't think people should be going after The Rock just because he's endorsing a Democrat and going after some kind of, liberal celebrity because they're going after Trump. Putting on these political sides is what creates the most amount of division. I think we should be looking at this from a strictly non-political point of view. We look at it as just The Rock. We look at the comedy sketch as just a comedy sketch, and we look at his endorsement of Joe Biden as stupid, because it is, but not in relation to the sketch. I don't agree with ever digging through someone's past, even if it is just 3 years ago, because then you're lowering yourselves down to the level of SJWs. In the end, am I for the conservatives on this one, or am I against them? Well, I'm never in support of any political side because I don't have a political side myself. I believe that both conservatives and liberals are stupid, which is why, just like with religion, I'm neutral, right? But objectively speaking, without any political motivation, Joe Biden is a pedophile. You should never support or vote for Joe Biden, so endorsing him is fucking stupid, even though celebrities are paid to do so. And the comedy sketch is literally just that, a comedy sketch. And I believe that there should never be any limitations in terms of comedy. So, do I think Dwayne Johnson should be getting some criticism? Yes. Do I think that he should have that skit thrown in his face? No. But that's just what I think. What do you guys think?